Hello everyone, this is Dead Space. As you can see, I have finished playing Dead Space. If you are wondering, this is End Credits Review. This is where I will review games that I have beaten, like straight after beating it. As you can see, this is the end credits. You can see my stream overlays. This is legit. This is a stream right now. I am reviewing the game at this very moment. Today's um, topic of discussion or game of discussion, or today's subject I should say, is Dead Space, the original Dead Space on my PC. Um, it's great. It's really great. It's pretty good. It's really, really, really good. It's a horror game set in space on the ship of Ishimura. And I'm not going to go into spoilers too much because I don't think I should. Just in case there are people who still have not experienced this game. But if you are a fan of horror games, horror action games to be specific, play this. You can play this, and you know what? There aren't many jump scares in this. This game does not rely on jump scares. So if you are afraid of that, don't be. This game more relies heavily on atmosphere and the monsters creating the scares and the providing the chills, but no over reliance on jump scares in your face imagery or loud sounds. But the sound design is very good. Like when you look at a monster, that monster, that monster's presence is going to initiate a sound cue to just sort of like give you a sort of adrenaline rush. I like that. I love that. And also the sound of the necromorphs. The necromorphs are the aliens in the game, your enemies. The sound they make in the vents, which are like to give you the sense of, oh, when is the next time I'm going to be jumped? When is it going to happen? So the game constantly keeps you on your toes. There are down times, of course, and there are times when the game lets the story breathe, but the story itself, it's a basic story. I think in the second one it gets a bit more complicated because there are a lot of things here that are not explained by the. I will give this game the benefit of the doubt that the second game is going to explain those things. But to be fair, if they are in this game, then this game should you know explain them. That's how I think. But I will say this, the gameplay itself, everything that comes with the gameplay is great. The controls, I played it on PC like I said, but with a controller. I played it with a controller because I don't think I played it with the PC and it's tank-like controls, like you don't have free movement. You can't move freely, so when you want to go from side to side, it doesn't work. It strafes, and you can't turn back around with just the movement stick. With the left stick you have to turn your entire body if you want to go backwards. So yeah, because of that I think this game is more comfortably played. Oh hey, Hungarian localization, Hungarian translator. If you don't know, I am Hungarian, so that's quite good that I noticed that. Quality assurance. Well, isn't that wonderful? This game had QA. This is from the glory days of EA when they still had quality control and quality assurance. Um, so yeah, gameplay-wise, the weapons that are there, I did not buy every weapon that was in the game. I only used two, well, three. The first weapon, the pulse cutter, then the no, not the pulse, energy cutter, or plasma cutter. I think it's called plasma cutter. The plasma cutter, the pulse rifle, and the flamethrower. The flamethrower I used it sparingly, or when I had no other option. But my main weapon was the plasma cutter. I think it's. I think you don't. I played it on normal. This is what you have to know about me. I always play games on normal, never on hard, because especially when I play it for the first time, I don't play it on hard. Special thanks. Yes, thank you especially. By the end, it's going to say, and thank you, the player, for playing this game. They always do that. And there are, I think there are 5 weapons in the game, but you can only have 4 equipped, so you can cycle through them. But I did not buy every weapon. You can upgrade yourself, you can upgrade your rig so you can have more health or more air. Air is important when you are in a area that doesn't have any air in it, so you are relying on your oxygen tank. Those sections are used very sparingly, and if you pay attention, then the basic air that you have is enough, and the game also gives you air packs that you can consume. What you need to understand is when you open your inventory, the game it does not pause. When you pause the game, that's when the game pauses, but the inventory, the map, the objective, the journal does not pause the game. There was no special thanks for the player. At least I don't think so. A 2003 copyright, what the hell? This game did not come out in 2003. Chapter 12, Death Space. What is happening? What did that say? Oh, military suit unlocked. Backstory logs unlocked. 50,000 credits awarded. 10 power nodes awarded. Impossible mode unlocked. Well, isn't that wonderful? And this is the reward you get for completing the game. And this is, for the review section, actually fits because, you know, these can be mentioned. I'm not going to be playing through these. Absolutely not. Nope, that's not what's going to happen with this. But I wonder what the military suit is, or the backstory logs. But what was I saying? So yeah, gameplay-wise, you know, oh yeah, the inventory does not pause the game. The enemies themselves, they are great. They are very cleverly designed. They are aliens, and we've seen aliens hundreds of times in any forms of, or not even hundreds of times, thousands of times in any forms of entertainment or media. But in this one, they are very cleverly designed, and also defeating them takes, like, it's not like, oh, just rack your bullets into them and they will die. You have to shoot their limbs off. That's the gimmick here. That's, or you go for the limbs, they die very easily. And yeah, fighting against the necromorphs, it's great. There are 2 boss fights in the game. Technically 4. Technically there are 4 boss fights, but 2 of them are against the same enemy, and I am not counting that as a boss fight. But those creatures have to be defeated using clever tricks, which the game provides you. It's not that it's something you have to get. No, it's something you have to figure out on your own. And it's not complicated. I figured them out almost instantly without any help. So yeah, not a problem. But the other 2 boss fights, there's a final boss fight, and the final boss, none of them are hard. Like, okay, I played it on normal, and the final boss fight I had the level 5 suit. You can buy suits which increase your armor and inventory space. I didn't. I barely used any med packs during the final fight. I think I used 3 in total. But it's not even because my health dropped to a dangerous level. I just wanted to be on full health. So there we go. And the first boss fight, that was pretty underwhelming. That one I got kind of disappointed because even the design of it wasn't really, at least with the final boss fight, in terms of difficulty, they are both the same. Maybe the last one is a tiny bit harder, but in terms of design, I much prefer the final one than the first one. Um, Save your progress. Yes, there are 12 chapters in the game, as you can see, 12 chapters. It took me 8 hours and 14 minutes. Is that what it is? Let's load the game. 8 hours and 20 minutes. That's the cleared game. Okay, that counts me talking as well. So roughly 8 hours. Let's keep it at that. Roughly 8 hours. So the game is roughly 8 hours long. But I think that you can knock it down to 7, maybe even 6. I don't know. Because I was messing around a few times, but there wasn't really any sections where I got stuck, where I was dying constantly. I think I can. Now that I think about it, I can count on one hand the amount of times I died. And once again, this is on normal difficulty, not easy. It's on or medium, not on hard. I don't know what would happen on hard. There are special abilities in the game like the stasis module, which slows everything down. Not everything, but the thing you shoot it at, so you can slow down the necromorphs. But I barely use that. I only use that when it was like, oh wait, I do have this. I remember. On medium, it's not necessary. It's not necessary to use them. If you know what you are doing, you have enough ammo, and usually you have enough ammo. You only don't have ammo when you absolutely do not pay attention. So what I was doing is I was not doing that because I figured it out on my final stream. So now that there is a store in the game. So in the store you can buy the suits, you can upgrade your suit. So you can from level 1 to level 5. The higher the level, the bigger your armor is, or the more armor you have, and the bigger your inventory space. And you can also sell the things you have. The game gives you semiconductors that can be golden, ruby, or diamond, each worth more credits than the last. I think gold costs 5, ruby 10, and diamond 25,000 credits. Um, and You can also find schematics in the game, which if you visit the shop, then the the schematic will unlock that item which it is showing. So the level 5 suit, for example, can only be unlocked if you find the schematic for it. But it's even that you don't have to look for it drastically. If I found it on my first playthrough blind, you can find it as well. And the game does give you a objective marker, but only if you press the button for it. So you don't even have to like. And also, I was barely using the map. I the that objective indicator was more than enough because it's literally a line on the ground which guides you. Um, so far, I have been positive on the game, and that is because of the gameplay size. Because the gameplay itself is quite good. It's quite solid. The only thing that I don't really there is a melee system, and you can also stomp. Stomping is good for stomping on the enemies that are on the ground, so to sort of finish them off, or breaking the loot crates. But the punch, it's not very viable. It's only a last resort when you don't have any ammo and you want to just get the necromorph away from you. But it's not advised because the necromorphs also they block your attack after a couple of hits. They block it, so don't rely on that. Or maybe there is a run on YouTube somewhere that hey, this pays but only using melee. Maybe, I don't know. I'm pretty sure if I load this game, that will be impossible mode. Because it says round 2. So I think that's how it is. Maybe. I don't know. The negative side comes in from the story itself and the characters. The characters are very one-dimensional. There's a twist with one of them, technically with two of them, but with one of them it was I will not spoil it, but it was very obvious from the get-go that that twist is going to happen. With the other one it was sort of obvious, but the game doesn't really. With that one character, the game does take a 180 with them. But the rest they do stay one-dimensional, and they are just there to advance the plot and spew out exposition. I don't know. I'm not going to say that there is a favorite character in here with me. There were characters and they were fine, but you don't really build any emotional connection with any of them because you don't really find out anything about them on a personal level. Except for one, except the main bad guy in the game, you do find something out from him or about him, but he was just also there to be the bad guy. That's it. That's pretty much it. The overall story, it's fine. But there is one thing I don't understand, and that would be spoiler territory. If you want to know that, you will have to look at my gameplay on this for the final part, because I will go into it. That's what you have to do, because I don't want to spoil it here, because this is a spoiler-free review. I do touch upon that on the final part of my playthrough, so please watch that. I know it's going to be a bit long, an hour and 20 minutes, but hey, you know, just put it in the background and listen to it. That's more than enough. And here, um, the character story, kind of alright. What else can I say? I think I will go for my review score. I think I go for the score and then some of the pros and cons, just sort of, have it be um, concluded. This is going to be. What is it going to be? Hmm. I liked playing it. I really liked playing it. I was never bored. I'm not that big of a fan of horror, but action horror, that is my jam. And you know what? At first I was not excited for the Dead Space remake. I was like, whatever. This game made me excited for the Dead Space remake because, hey, it can work. It can be good. It can be great. Hmm. Like the only negative I have are the story and the characters, but that's the problem for me. Characters and story, they're kind of important because I like good characters. I like good stories, and if the characters and the stories are just like very shallow or one-dimensional, and the twists are predictable, that sours my enjoyment a little bit. Hmm. I'm really struggling. With Stray, I instantly knew the score. I'm leaning towards an 8 or a 9, not a 10. 10 definitely not. 8 or 9 out of 10. I will have to make a decision, and this is here. I'm straight after beating it. I will push for a final score. 8 or 9. You know what? And this is me thinking that the second game is going to be better, and that one is sort of clouding my judgment. But you know what? Screw it, because I was enjoying the hell out of this game. 9 out of 10. We kind of a weak story and kind of a shallow one-dimensional characters aside. Those are the big negative negatives I have, and a few bugs here and there. The game itself is not perfect. There are a few bugs, visual bugs, audio glitches. So maybe that 9. It's not a 10 out of 10. It's not a masterpiece in my eyes, but a 9. A 9. And also, yeah, biggest negative, silent protagonist. There you go. I just remembered to mention that. I forgot to mention that. The protagonist should not have been silent because he has a face. He has a face and there is a big emotional moment with him. So he should have had a voice. Which the second game does fix that mistake, which I love. I really love. And that also makes me excited to play the game. The Isaac Clarke should have had a voice from the very beginning. He didn't. I'm glad that he had a face, and I'm glad that they at least did something with him, but that happened at the end, not at the not from the beginning to the end. So you know what? 9 out of 10, and that's it. That's it. That's pretty much it from me. You know, I think I said what I wanted to say. So yeah, 9 out of 10. Dead Space, I loved it. I can't wait to play the second one. If you are new here, please give me a subscribe, leave a like on the video, leave a comment. Hey, do you agree? Do you disagree? Why? why not, you know, share your thoughts about the game. And if you, this is the first one you see, please check out my other videos, the Shrey review, the Shrey end credits review, or just check out my edited videos, or just check out the playthroughs. You know, there are a lot of things, a lot of variety, a big variety of different videos you can watch. Hey, there's this, as one IGN presenter said, it's a little something for everyone. That was a lame joke. I'm sorry. I'm very sorry. But this was Dead Space end credits review. 9 out of 10. Great game. I cannot wait for the remake, and I'm excited for the second game. Now, join me next time on hey, I'm streaming this on Twitch. Give me a follow on Twitch as well. Do not miss these moments as live as they are happening. No? Next time I'm be playing Dead Space 2, and that I think that will be great as well. I I'm predicting that I will like Dead Space 2 more. But who knows? Maybe I won't. Maybe I won't. Maybe I have too much hype for Dead Space 2. Who knows? Because this game pleasantly surprised me. So there you go. Yeah, that's it. Bye.